Nice. Okay, so here we go. What's up, folks? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Running Gun Podcast. I'm Jay Peeps,
I'm Ace.
and for you this evening, we have a plethora of fun stuff for you. As well, we're going to talk about, we're going to get into pretty much family reported today for fall camp. Um, Basically, week 0 is here. It's almost here. It's right around the corner. It's coming up. It's coming real fast. I know Ace is excited. We're going to talk about the Pro Football Hall of Fame game, the Pro Football Hall of Fame in itself. What else? What else we got? What else we got, Ace?
We have some light banter or controversy between two teams with the new head coach talking
Oh,
crap about the old head coach, and then the quarterback doesn't like the talking trash about the head coach, his now offensive coordinator, all that goodies there. You have another head coach who's saying, "Get your popcorn ready. I want to watch this game myself on prime time." We got that. We got
that game's on.
owner and running back having beef in public, basically. And people
Yeah.
are saying trade the owner, not the running back. Um, hmm.
Also,
Yeah,
we got somebody trying
much.
to pull out of the Orange Blossom Classic. It's been talked about for a couple weeks
Oh,
now.
yeah. Somebody transferred out of a certain school and then showed up in another city with the team that his team would have been playing pretty soon.
You're messy. You're messier than me. You are messier than me. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. You are.
I'm gonna say what's going on, but I'm gonna indirectly throw the knives at it.
Cause you. It's always that little grin. That's what it is. It's always that, and I can see it, and
Hmm.
that's how I know.
Anyways, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna post a link on Twitter in a minute. Facebook, I think comments work for Facebook, not Twitter. So you gotta head over to YouTube for the comments.
Yep. And with that being said, I
That
guess
being said, run the intro.
roll it. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is GP.
This is the Bug.
This is JC.
This is Flash. This is Denny Hendricks.
And you are listening to.
And you are listening to.
And you're listening to.
And you're listening to the Run and Gun Podcast.
What do we do? Let's get this show on the roll.
Right away. So, first things first that we've heard, and it's been talked about multiple outlets and everything. But so I don't know if you know him, but I've heard of him and seen him before and what he talks about and everything. So I was watching Offscript do his podcast or his show.
Hmm.
His last episode, I think it was yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday, and he was talking about the Orange Blossom Classic and everything, right? And it was informative. It was good, very knowledgeable. I liked it. And the one thing that stood out to me the most was the fact that, as of course FAMU is getting paid $450K for this game, but they're pulling out because AD Sykes feels like they can make more off home games, pretty much. And so the point that was made and the point that I agreed with was basically, I said this a while ago too. Instead of maybe making Jackson State the Orange Blossom Classic, do home and home games. One game in Tallahassee, one game in Jackson, as you normally should, with Jackson State. Swag schedule, right? And then for the Orange Blossom Classic, what you do is you bring in another
Rotate
team.
it.
Exactly. You just bring in someone else, like a North Carolina A&T, a Tennessee State, somebody else that you feel can play on the same level as you. Simple as that. which and
Whether it's
honestly,
SWAC or MEAC.
exactly. Or even if it's Ohio Valley, if it's the Ohio Valley Conference, the conference that Tennessee State's in, Tennessee State, Tennessee Tech, and I believe UT Martin is in that conference too. But honestly, it makes sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I feel like that would generate more money for the school if you decide to do that. And quite honestly, yeah, pretty much I agreed with him. It's not a bad idea. I hate the fact that the game likely is going away because Labor Day weekend in Miami is pretty fun, honestly, all things considered. But yeah, I mean, so I open up the floor.
What do you mean by that? I'm just kidding. Anyways, I don't think you heard what I said when I said what you
So I
mean
heard
by
what you
that.
said.
Anyways. All right. So yeah, so I think if they do the Orange Blossom Classic with a rotation of like different teams where it's gonna be a big draw for not only FAMU but for other teams. So rather than restricting yourself to a fixed amount of money, you're bringing in for the school and like a fixed game that only fans. It's a hard drive for Mississippi unless they're flying to Miami straight and Tallahassee instead of having commutes where you have the two big fan bases in the SWAC. You have home and home where you get the full at home atmosphere for those games, which will help your home revenue for each team, and you have higher attendance basically, and it has more stakes than a neutral site.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you rotate the teams, you bring in more money on depending on who you're bringing in for your game. So you're making money for the program, and then you're also if you have certain fan bases, it keeps the intrigue up at a certain level where if it's only Jackson State and one of the teams is like they lost a lot of guys for like, oh, what was on face, bro?
Uh, you remember that player I was telling you about?
Oh yeah, the one who was gonna play a game and he left and went to a different city, and the team
Yeah,
he was gonna play against. What happened with him?
he was spotted in whose
All right,
locker
we'll
room.
get into that in a minute. No, let's not. We're teasing that, but we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a minute. We're gonna get to that in a minute. Anyways, yeah, where was it? Okay, so like let's say Jackson State or FAMU, they lost a lot of guys to either the portal, like this year, or you lose a lot of guys to graduation, also this year with FAMU's case.
Mm-hmm.
Then the interest from the fans might not be as high as it would be consistently. So if you rotate teams, you can keep that fan interest at its highest point rather than having a fixed team where if they go through ups and downs in a season, you're like, well, the game this year is not entertaining. I guess I'm like making a trip all the way down to Miami. Blah blah blah. You get the point. So in summary, it's like, well, if you rotate, you have more benefits than if you just keep it a fixed game, and then you're like, well, you go ups and downs for both the program and the team and the fans, unless you rotate, where then you're like, oh, fan interest, team interest, and program interest all align at its highest point.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, if you can, like I said, I don't want to see the Orange Blossom Classic go away, but if you can, for money purposes, bring Jackson State to Tallahassee and then keep the Orange Blossom Classic, that's excellent. That's excellent. And then the thing is, too, the band and football team, meals, hotel, all that's covered. That's the thing. But, it is what it is. I hate to see it go, but it is what it is. Also, too, FAMU reported today for fall camp. That was the other thing that happened. So basically,
Football season's almost here.
Exactly, it's getting closer. I know all the teams that are basically, if you're playing on week 0, you're in fall camp right now. You're just getting through the first week and entering the dog days of fall camp. But it's going to be fun. I was watching the 220 QB club meeting last week. Willie Simmons hinted at the fact that he and the team and the coaches, they will be doing community service the first 2 days because the NCAA granted you, I guess, from 29 to 31 days to practice. So now they will be, having 2 days of community service as a team. And then from there, they'll get into fall camp on the 4th. So reporting was today. The official start is on the 4th. And then from there, you're just basically getting ready to play a game. So this is going to be fun. This is where you find out basically who came for the education and who came to play football and get the education. Man, you're going to separate the men from the boys here soon. And you're going to find out, how serious is this team about living up to the standard of being picked to win the SWAC and potentially going to the Celebration Bowl and things such as that. Now, the thing that Ace wants to talk about that just actually
What
popped up.
I want to talk about? You're the one who was teasing it midway through.
All right, fine. Let's go ahead and tease it. So,
Let's just reveal it.
there's been, because recently John Graves III transferred out of Jackson State. Okay, got it. And
That's
so
one little P in a giant list of other P's that left.
yeah, he's a defensive lineman. He's a 6'1", 260-pound defensive lineman, grad student transfer from Lancaster, Texas, leaves southeastern Louisiana to go to Jackson State, transfers out again, and wouldn't you know, on Instagram, on his own Instagram story, he was spotted in Tallahassee, Florida. And then today, after that, John Graves III was spotted in FAMU's Fieldhouse. Accidentally stepped on the rattler, had to do some push-ups. So yeah,
You know what's coming.
So you're messy. You're terrible. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I kind of expected it. Honestly, got a comment. Oh, go bring it up. But yeah, I honestly, I kind of, well, not expected it, but I was thinking to myself, like, I wonder where he's going. Yeah, I know. I'm like you too. That's what you honestly, you missed it probably like not even 5 minutes ago, like 3 minutes ago. I literally looked down at my phone and was like, so I've been saying it. I'm like, look, this man probably likely went through like a few days of fall camp with Jackson State.
He said this ain't it.
Been working out, then got in shape, already got a physical done, so he's able to practice, and probably got the whole defensive scheme of what they plan to do. And now just made off with it and just landed in Tallahassee. And he's likely staying with his former teammate from Southeast Louisiana, Sharif Saeed, who is expected to possibly be a starter on the defensive line at the edge position. The plot thickens and it continues to write itself.
It got very thick once he sees, like, you go to practice, no Dion, no Shadur, and you're like, half the team in the portal or left already, and you're like, yeah, this ain't it. I'm out.
Hey, look, man, it's crazy. It's crazy because, no, I'm not going to say all that, but, it's sometimes you just get somewhere and you're like, I thought it was going to be what it. He was like, man, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that too. I'm like, you know what? He probably just got there and was like, man, I thought this was going to be like this, and it's not like this. So let me just go ahead and go where I thought I was going to go initially. And now he's in Tallahassee. Now, like I said, there's no formal commitment yet. Not yet. I'm sure the offer is still on the table, but I would expect one soon, especially if he's in the field house while these guys have already reported. I'd expect a commitment to come soon. And I find
he probably saw the vibe and he's like, hey, I like this vibe. Let me head over here.
Oh, definitely. Because in talking with Nadarius Fagan, that's the difference with Willie Simmons. Willie Simmons is a player's coach. He's for his guys. He's going to let them have fun, firm but fair, and that's how it should be. Now, the music video thing they got a little too out of hand, and that was without him knowing about it and stuff. And that I'd probably hate to be in the field house and have to run 110s after that and run stadium steps, but that needs to be the punishment dealt for that. I'm sure it has already, and that's behind us. But the plot surely thickens. It really does. But yeah, so the other thing too, and if you also want to chime in on that, feel free to hop in the comment section. The other thing as well was FAMU volleyball got their rings for winning the SWAC championship. They are pretty, pretty beautiful. Let me see if I can actually share. Let me see if I can share that actually. We're gonna try to get in the habit of sharing things more on this page.
Well, we figured out how to do it for the previews, for the NFL previews. Now
Yes.
JP has to learn how to do it like an old man.
Leave me alone.
Give him a second. He's got to type like this. Really slow.
Leave me alone. Somebody's on.
I'm just
Look, I'm trying to
yeah,
figure
so
out.
while he figures out how to work a computer and to share it,
Oh,
wait, you're gonna be close before I start something else, or you almost there?
trying to. I think I got it.
All right.
Wait. Screen layout, put Shift and 6.
Oh my gosh.
I think. Okay, Ace, how do you share this? I'm
Bro,
terrible.
you go to present, then you go to share screen,
Oh my
and then
gosh.
click which screen you want to share.
Oh my gosh, I'm terrible. Okay, there we go.
You see my point, guys? Y'all seeing this for yourself. This man is a he
Look.
ain't no work to stuff.
So those are the rings right there. If you can you see it? Can you see it?
No, it hasn't loaded yet. Your computer's
hasn't
slow,
loaded?
so.
Oh.
There we go. Now it's there.
But yes, these are the championship rings that they basically came out with for FAMU. They are nice. And yeah, oh, back to back. Oh yeah, those are clean. I forgot about it being back to back. Okay. It's a nice little rock.
With the LeBron logo right next to it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Okay. All right, yay. J-Peeps learned how to share a screen. Oh my goodness. You know, Ace is gonna take me bowling next or to play bingo like what they always do with old people. I know. You have to counteract you.
All right, back on topic. So congrats, Amy volleyball. Back-to-back big accomplishment. Very nice, very nice. Now let's see if football can actually get out of their back-to-back 9-8.
9-2.
9-2. 9-8 football, like NFL. 9-2.
But you know, he's so used to the Saints. We'll forgive him though.
You want 9-8, 7, you know.
Also, too, FAMU volleyball brought in. I mean, not volleyball. FAMU basketball hired a former Pat Summit player once again in Bridget Gordon, who comes to FAMU from Cincinnati, who was a perennial loser. But again, you know, I'm willing to give.
Bro, it's a perennial loser just like that. And he said, I'm mean.
Dude, honestly, they were. They won. I think it was like they won like 2 games in their conference at Cincinnati. But
okay, yeah, that's just bad. Trash.
I'm willing to give this. I'm willing to give this a chance because, you know, sometimes as the assistant, you don't have the opportunity to put your hands on everything that you want, and you don't fully get the last say. So I'm willing to give it a shot and say, you know, hopefully she comes in and she's able to do her own thing and she's able to just, you know, structure it how she wants to structure it. She won the press conference, make no mistake. She definitely did. She had the energy. She had me excited for basketball. She had a lot of people excited for basketball. And pretty much, so she just talked about how she's so excited that her first game as a former Vol and a former Olympian and national champion at Tennessee is on the road back in Knoxville. So yeah, FAMU women's basketball opens up the season in Knoxville. So Bridget Gordon goes back to her old stomping grounds. It's going to be exciting. I'm sure it's going to be emotional for her. I'm rooting for her. We know Coach Pilla was also a former Vol. So there is this worry of hopefully it sticks this time, going to the well from like former Vol players. And I get it. Tennessee is, well, especially that Pat Summit era, those ladies are pretty knowledgeable in basketball. From Candace Parker to all their multiple names and stuff. they are pretty knowledgeable. So I'm willing to give this a shot. Hopefully, it turns out better than it did with Coach Pillow. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I like her energy. I hope that she continues to bring that. She's got a heck of a climb in store for her. She's first things first. She's gonna have to climb and dig FAMU out of this hole that FAMU women's basketball is in, and make them not be a laughing stock in the SWAC. But I have faith. I have faith.
Well, going from Tennessee, you know, wasn't so pretty. Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Former Tennessee player in Cincinnati. You know what I mean. Anyway, going from a 2-win team to another bad team, but this time as a head coach. Time to go like this, work some magic,
Yeah.
pull everything where you want to be, and go up.
She did emphasize that she wanted to bring in her own assistants and everything such as that. And she wanted to do her own thing. Oh, she's actually from DeLand. She's from right down the road from me. But yeah, so she was on the staff. So yeah, at Cincinnati, she was actually the assistant coach, but she also did time at Kansas State for a year after two as an assistant coach at SMU from 2019 to 2021. Was one of the most prolific
experience
in the history of University of Tennessee's basketball program.
That's a nice little resume.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even read the full thing. I didn't even read the full thing. I can actually, I can share it, and that's what I can do. I can share screen, and I'm going to do this again because I'm excited.
He learned a new trick, guys. They can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Oh my gosh, I gotta hate you so much. So can we see this? Can we see this?
Yeah, it's just a lot of words.
Yeah, no, it is a lot of words, but that basically was her resume from when she was at Cincinnati. But eventually I'll be able to bring up the one from FAMU, but for now I'll stop sharing. But yes. Hey, I like this. I like this.
You like to be able to share?
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, no, honestly, like I like the flexibility with this. I'm gonna have to start doing this more. I'm excited. They got me.
I don't know why it took so long.
Look, leave me alone.
All right, guys. Moving on down the road to the Pro Football. Actually, right next to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, same state, Ohio. Pro Football Hall of Fame game. Let's talk about some Canton stuff, guys. Canton stuff.
So yeah, pretty much Pro Football Hall of Fame is tomorrow night, and as we already know, Zach Wilson's going to start for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers isn't even playing.
We will not be tuning in.
You said, "Well, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch." Honestly,
I'm just kidding. I'll probably watch like the first quarter, because after like the second quarter, there's a bunch of people you've never heard of playing.
True, as it should be. Honestly, and the thing is too, so this is unique for the Jets and the Browns. So the NFL preseason's already set at three games. For the Jets and the Browns, you get those 4 games now. So you're back to the original format. And that's what kind of, I guess, if you want to say, benefits the teams that play in the Hall of Fame game. You get those 4 games to evaluate the talent and to as well see, who's going to be a key contributor. Sometimes those guys need that extra 4th game. So now you go back to the initial way of the 3rd game being that dress rehearsal game for week 1. And then, game Dorian Finley-Thompson is the next Lamar Jackson.
That's not the right name. It's DTR. It's Dorian Thompson Robinson.
He been drinking on that stuff.
Yep, he mixed it.
He mixed that white and that dark.
There you go.
There you go.
What up, drunk?
But the next Lamar Jackson, you know what?
I see the vision, but he ain't starting this week. I think they said. I think Kellen Mond's starting. I know. So yeah, Kellen Mond's starting this week. So tomorrow.
That's why I
But
say he makes that
Dorian
white.
Thompson-Robinson is playing, I believe, from the second quarter on or third quarter on. But he won't get to show much with the backups. So probably next week he starts. But I do agree. I see some Lamar in him. It's just with Deshaun Cosby in front of him. It's how much reps he gets to develop into that.
Honestly, I feel like this is one of those games where you can make a name for yourself. I think Sean Taylor made a name for himself in the Hall of Fame game a couple years ago. So if Dorian Thompson
Sean
Robinson,
Taylor is a long time ago, not a couple years ago.
well, all right, fine. You know what? I forget once again. This is back in my day. It wasn't back in Ace's day. Back in my day. I'm sorry, but yes, back when Sean Taylor's playing, he made a name for himself. He kind of established himself as a force at safety in the Hall of Fame game. So hopefully Dorian Thompson-Robinson can come in and make a name for himself tomorrow night. I'm expecting him, honestly. I know you said he's not going to start, but I expect him to get the whole second half to himself, possibly.
Oh, yeah, he will.
And I'm going to be tuning in because I want to see how much trash Kellen Mond.
Come on, didn't even last a year with the Vikings.
Honestly,
People was hyping him up big time too,
it's
and that draft.
You know what it is? You know why? It's because he's a former Jimbo Fisher quarterback. But the thing is he only did
I'm gonna be honest, none of the Jimbo Fisher quarterbacks have worked out.
They haven't. They really haven't. And Jameis is like the longest standing one. And I think part of it is because he won a Heisman. And I thought, and I know we have differing opinions with this, but honestly, it's because I thought he should have left the NFC South completely. I wouldn't be back up to Derek Carr if I were him. I'd try to go find a higher bidder somewhere else, but maybe the Saints were.
If somebody gets hurt, he's getting traded.
Oh yeah, easy. I think so too. But yeah, honestly, yeah, Kellen Mond. I'm actually surprised Kellen Mond still has a job in the NFL. But give or take, he is young and he's an extra arm to have. Like he's a camp arm, if you want to say. Eventually, that's what he will become with this after this new crop of quarterbacks comes in. Wait, it went away. Not even being funny, but everybody on the Vikings said he was doggy. But I got to see for myself. Honestly, it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense. Here's the thing, like it's not even fact that he throws a lot of interceptions like Jameis did, but like he's
just not that great. He's not good.
His style of play was good for the NFL. I mean, it was good for college football and for the SEC, but his style of play is not transitioning to the NFL. It just doesn't work. Like if you're going to be like that, you better be like Mike Vick and be just elite. Like I'm talking like taking people's ACLs left and right. And Kellen Mond is not that.
Yeah, it's like not a whole lot of SEC quarterbacks works out.
Well,
if you know what I mean.
However, I will say I think that conference has the most QBs with Super Bowl rings.
Well, yeah, Tennessee counts, I guess. Well, as far as the Big Ten hasn't got carried by Brady. There's literally just Brady in the Big Ten, really.
Also, as far as individuals with Super Bowls, because you got to think, you got Peyton Manning, Joe Namath, Eli. Oh my gosh, who else was there?
Well, recently, since like it became the FBS.
Oh, since it became the FBS? Not sure.
Like Tua's good, Mac Jones is all right, and then you have Burrow. He's carrying right now.
Honestly, I hope he's okay. I saw that happen. I hope he's okay.
He got a calf strain, I think they said.
Yeah. Honestly,
they're gonna just sit him out the entire preseason. He's not playing until week 1.
Oh yeah, not at all. Honestly, if anything, he's probably going through mental reps from the sideline at saying like, this is what I would check to this. Keep your mind sharp, do things like that. But I do hate that for him, and I actually do. from on every level. I hope high school, college, pro, all those guys can stay healthy this fall camp and just be able to play. Because honestly, this is one of the hottest summers on record. So you need to hydrate. I already saw Kalijah.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys retiring. And the training camp first week, there's a lot of guys who wanted retired.
It's
Like
wild.
Sony Michelle was like the big one.
Yeah, I was. You know what? I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised by that. To be honest with you.
And there was the dude from the Gators, Zeninga, I think his name was. He won one practice with the Saints for training camp, retired the next day.
Hey, sometimes it's not what
Jalen Hurd, like I never even understood the hype with him. He's like big
I
dude, like
remember him.
he went to the Patriots like one practice and he retired. He got like a little dinged up and he retired. John Ross retired.
Big, giant, tall receiver from the University of Tennessee. I remember him.
Baylor.
Josh Dobbs was throwing him passes. He
Oh
was.
yeah, I think
He
he was
was
Tennessee
legit.
before Baylor.
Also, too, as far as other than Sony Michelle had the
We
opposite.
thought Michelle was gonna be good, Chubb was gonna be the lesser one, but then Michelle's the one with the ring and Chubb is just doing all the production.
Hold on now. I definitely felt. I will say, me personally, I felt like they were both going to be good. I felt like Nick Chubb fit what the Browns' style of play was and how they use him. But I felt like Sony Michelle would have physically lasted longer in the Patriots system initially with Tom Brady because of how they used him. So I felt like it was going to save Sony Michelle's body of him being a pure pass catcher and seldomly ran in between the tackles in a rotation with, say, Damian Harris. But I can see that was not the case. Although Nick Chubb's case is legit. Just imagine Josh Allen's Bills, Aaron Rodgers Jets, Tom Brady's Patriots, and Tua in Miami. That would have been a special. Yeah, it would have been. It would have been, honestly.
Tom Brady dealt with, I think, the best quarterback in the AFC East when Brady was there was probably
I think it was Dan Marino.
or Tannehill.
Oh, Marino was gone.
Dan Marino was not that. Tom Brady ain't that old.
No, he was gone. Marino left after 99, and then Brady came in 2000. So I mean, honestly, until the division change, the Colts were in the AFC East, is what a lot of people don't remember, because Peyton and Brady were division rivals for like a year in 2001, and then the divisions had gone and changed, and the Colts had gone to the AFC South, and the Patriots, Bills, Jets, and Dolphins all stayed in the AFC East. But he's right though. That would have been crazy. That would be a crazy occurrence. To be honest, I can't wait to see Aaron Rodgers be an absolute corpse for the Jets. They're gonna be praying.
I was gonna get to that, but now that Drunk brought it up, we can go talk about it. Let us discuss Sean Payton, Nathaniel Hackett, Aaron Rodgers. Hold on.
Here we go.
Let's talk about this. So, as we all know, Sean Payton had some comments, as many of you know, about his predecessor. Let's just leave it like that, predecessor, right? Now what we should call Nathaniel Hackett. So yeah, he said some stuff about Nathaniel Hackett, and everybody got pissy. We all know the story, right? Yeah, cool with Sean Payton or Nathaniel Hackett. I don't want to take either side. I'm fed up with Sean Payton, but Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett are both garbage. When Nathaniel Hackett's like a garbage coach, and Aaron Rodgers is a garbage kind of person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we all know everybody's kind of puffy because Sean Payton roasted him, saying he's trash, and then Nathaniel Hackett responded like, "I've been involved in the business my whole life, 43 years, coach, kid. We know that, and it's one of the things. There's a code of how you're doing things in the house."
Yeah, I was gonna say he did
Yeah.
say that he was like he kind of crossed the line and like he broke the code. But you gotta remember too, Sean Payton comes from that older generation of coaches where like And you got to look at like Sean Payton worked with Bill Parcells. So Bill Parcells will kind of like call you out like that too. Because Bill Parcells is the only person that I've ever heard stories of calling a player like Lawrence Taylor out, which not many people do. So this doesn't surprise me. Honestly, that's spot on. He right. He right because he got a
I'm gonna have
ring.
to pin this one.
He right. He absolutely
Hmm.
right. He's not wrong. Because it's like look, they
A
basically
lot of regular season success, playoff choking, one ring. Yeah,
they
dead
basically
on.
championships around the same time too, which is crazy.
Oh wait, 08 and 09, kind
Yep.
of. Well, technically, like 2010 was when the Super Bowl was, but it was the 09 season.
And it's like, yeah, to be honest with you, like let's be real. How many of us really believe that in Sean Payton's time with Russell Wilson, the Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl?
None. Bro, I'd be shocked if they even make the playoffs this year.
They'll eventually, I think they'll get there as a wild card because Patrick Mahomes is still in the division, but nah, dog, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Nope. That's crazy. And then we had this. Jim Irsay said, basically, and I quote, "No one treats players as well as this franchise," to Jonathan Taylor. This is the same franchise that released
that
Peyton
cut
Manning.
Peyton Manning. Cut
Yes,
the entire team, basically. Fired everybody.
after Peyton Manning was the reason that you came out of being a mediocre franchise. Because let's not forget, before Peyton, they were nothing. They had Jim Harbaugh, Jeff George. They were garbage. They've gone back to being garbage. And like, dude, how? No. And then plus he put Andrew Luck in a body bag. Jim Irsay is my spirit animal. If I feel a breakup coming, I'm gonna accelerate the timeline on purpose.
I'm trying to find the exact comments from the Sean Payton thing, but it's like Jim Irsay, like Sean Payton is a douchebag coach, pretty much, right? Well, Jim Irsay, like now that Dan Snyder's gone, Jim Irsay's in the running for the worst owner in the league.
Well, of course, and you got
No, the Cardinals one is the worst. Cardinals are a dumpster fire right now,
they've always been
but
a dumpster
Jim
fire,
Irsay is a close second.
dude. That's honestly, I honestly do believe, like aside from the Bucks misfortunes, that the Colts are probably one of the next worst run franchises. They hit on Peyton Manning and had that plethora of talent, but like nobody knows the Colts from the time of when they got to Indianapolis to before Peyton showed up. Nobody.
And you know the funniest part is, when you listen to like Pat McAfee talk, right, about the day the Colts want to cut everybody, it's like don't answer your phone and stuff. No one treats your team better. No one treats their players better than that. When players were literally afraid to go on their phone that day. That the best way to treat a player, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Like in the NFL, if the general public knows the owner name, they probably messing up. Yeah. No,
That is it's not just the NFL. It's not
it's
just the NFL. It's any franchise basically. Like you know who owns the Knicks? When's the last time the Knicks actually won a franchise? You know the name of the Cowboys. Bet you can't even. Well, the Patriots. The Patriots is the exemption, pretty much. I'm gonna be
Well,
honest.
no,
I don't even
they're
know
gonna
who
be in that
Chiefs.
list. They're gonna be on that list here soon. Give it 5 years. They're not gonna win another. No, Patriots will be on that
Nah.
list.
Who won the Chiefs? Brown? No.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's Hines. No, not Hines.
See, that's the thing. See, look, we don't even know the Chiefs owner.
I gotta look it up. I feel bad.
Clark Hunt.
Huh?
Clark Hunt.
There's a Hunt. I'm like, I knew it's one of them condiment people, and I can't remember who it is.
I almost said Art
That's why I
Modell.
thought it was Heinz, and I'm like, no, it's not Heinz.
Heinz Ketchup has a partnership with the Steelers.
Yeah. Like
But-
Jim, yeah, like basically, yeah. If both of them left, nobody would care. Everybody would be happy Jim Irsay left. But like Jonathan Taylor disappears, you're like, well, what happened to Todd Gurley again?
He had bad
Todd
knees.
Gurley was just like he had bad knees, but it's like I can't even say Doug Martin is like I'm trying to think of a running back who was really good.
You
Like
say
first
Dougie,
2
you
years and
mentioned Dougie the Druggie. Oh, Dougie the Druggie. 15,000 yard season, they do nothing else since and got paid. That's why we call him Dougie the Druggie. But yeah, no, you're right though. And then the thing is someone mentioned it. It's interesting how it's ironic that 28s, number 28s, go from, and really this is like the third time that this is about to happen. The first one was number 29 with Eric Dickerson, going from the Colts to LA and having and flourishing with his career. Once again, Marshall Faulk going from
I'm like who trades for him.
What's up?
No, keep going.
Oh yeah, Marshall Faulk going from Indianapolis to the Rams and flourishing.
That worked.
Jonathan Taylor, although the Rams are a dumpster fire, I don't think he goes to the Rams.
Nah, Rams. Cooper Kupp got hurt, and if Cooper Kupp hurt, that offense ain't going nowhere. He's their only receiver right now, so
Well,
that offense ain't going nowhere. And if they're tanking, Xavier Smith, best one there probably. But if they're tanking for Caleb, it's like Cooper Kupp getting traded, Aaron Donald getting traded.
Aaron Donald needs to retire.
He was gonna retire and told the Rams when to give him money.
You dare compare just Jonathan Taylor to Marshall Faulk? Hey, I'm not comparing. I'm just saying that the line of Colts running backs that find their way out of that franchise
and are good.
It usually leads to a Hall of Fame career.
But my thing is, who's gonna trade for Jonathan Taylor right now?
Someone will get hurt. You never know. Someone could get hurt. Anything.
Well, yeah, preseason is like if the Ravens would have been a great fit, but with J.K. Dobbins' contract, it was like I don't think the Ravens are gonna pay him either. Then you look at the Dolphins. Dolphins got a boatload of money strapped up right now.
And look, the Dolphins.
See, Big Drunk agree with you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But see, here's the thing that you mentioned about the Dolphins. They missed out on Dalvin Cook.
That's what I could see it, but I was like, they didn't want to pay Dalvin. That's why Dalvin never signed there. Would they pay Jonathan Taylor? Considering they just drafted Akin, what's in it? Devon Akin? I don't know how you pronounce it.
From Texas A&M?
Shane, yeah.
Okay.
That guy. Super speedy dude. They drafted him, so I don't know if they pay him back.
Honestly, and I'll tell you the truth too, Dalvin Cook was probably asking for an insane amount of money that they probably didn't want to give him, even though he's from the crib.
Jonathan Taylor wants an insane amount of money.
Hey. We'll see. Jonathan Taylor.
Ain't nobody in the NFC South gonna get him. Unless the Panthers say F it.
At some point, too, if with Jonathan Taylor, he's gonna have to realize that like he's not gonna get what he really wants, and he's gonna have to settle for a certain price.
So imagine if Cincinnati got him.
Him and Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon goes out. All right, cut him. Remember Joe Mixon? They was having their own contract issues with Joe Mixon.
See, this running back situation in the NFL is getting crazy.
The running backs are getting treated like crap, and like a team doesn't win. Well, teams will win a Super Bowl, and it no matter who the hell your running back is. But a team literally just won a Super Bowl with a 7th round pick at running back.
Hey, I don't blame
And
Dalvin.
Pacheco was good. Don't get me wrong, Pacheco was good. They got him in the 7th round.
It won't. You're absolutely right. It won't because not John. Saquon Barkley got just only an extra $1 million on his deal. On his
Yeah,
one
and
deal.
he was the reason why Daniel Jones got paid.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like Joe Mixon's sister or whatever, or him, like with the whole kid fiasco with the Nerf guns.
Dude, there's some stuff about Jonathan Taylor because I know people that know him.
Jonathan Taylor or Joe Mixon?
Joe Mixon. There's some stuff about Joe Mixon that I know I got to tell you. I can't say it on
I already
air.
know what happened with Joe Mixon in the past in Oklahoma.
No,
Like, everybody knows what happened with him.
there's
More
some
stuff?
there's some stuff in Cincinnati.
Well, I don't know.
I go to school with people that are from there that are fans and that are perspective. I'll tell you, I ain't gonna.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm trying to think what other teams could use a Jonathan Taylor. Like Tony Pollard, his ankle, I don't think will be 100% straight off the bat.
That's another one. The Cowboys could go get him.
Cowboys would pay him. Cowboys don't have a thing against paying running backs, but they just paid Tony Pollard.
They
Well, no,
don't.
they didn't pay Tony Pollard. They have him on the franchise tag. But the Colts wouldn't take Tony Pollard, so then you're like, would you pay both Tony Pollard and Jonathan Taylor? No. Then you're like, Texans got like 3 running backs in the backfield. They're not going to go put him with CJ
Damian
Stroud.
Pierce is a feature guy.
Damian Pierce, yeah.
Is a feature guy.
See, I wanted to think this, but I'm like, given the Chiefs and how their cap is structured right now, I just don't see it. But that would be insane.
That would be. It wouldn't be fair. It really wouldn't be fair.
The league would be broken.
It's already technically, if we're being honest, it's already not fair.
No, they have Travis Kelce and a bunch of nobodies in this. And John, hey, what's about this Justin Ross thing, bro? Holy crap! Y'all saw that video? I don't know if this came out before the episode last week. I don't remember if we talked about it.
I saw
this man Justin Ross.
I
saw the one. Oh, we'll talk about George Pickens in a second. But that Justin Ross video, man ran the route. Hit the brakes so hard. This corner flew right off the screen. He had enough time to go wipe his hands on his ass towel.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he caught that. Oh my. Bro, this man anywhere close to what he was in Clemson before that neck injury. Whew. Him, Kelce. What, Mahomes?
Hey, it's going to be an interesting fantasy year. It's going to be an interesting fantasy year. No team that has a chance at winning needs a running back because a running back doesn't equal win. Honestly,
Bro, we getting deep here.
It's like
let's go look at the last Super Bowl winners, right? Apologize for us, you two from doing workout one. Yeah, that too. Yeah, it's like look at the Chiefs. Pacheco was a running back, right? Cam Akers won the Rams the Super Bowl. He was averaging like less than 3 yards a carry.
But he was a tough runner too. He's a physical runner, and he's been that way this time in Florida State.
Cam Akers coming back that last 4 weeks. I was like, what the hell? It's trash the entire time he was on my fantasy roster. He comes out and he somehow goes crazy the last 4 weeks, and I'm like,
trying to get paid, trying to find a home for next year.
And then you go before that, the Bucks.
Leonard Fournette.
He went crazy for that 1 year.
Yeah, he did.
I give him that. But he was on his second team.
Yeah, see, the thing with Leonard Fournette was the thing people don't remember is he went crazy in Jacksonville too. Up for that one season.
And then you go before that, Chiefs.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
No, that was the year they drafted him after that Super Bowl.
Yeah, they had
Jerick McKinnon? No. We're proving Drunk's point. We can't even tell you who the Chiefs running back was when they won.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah.
You just need a running back who can have 4 good games.
And that's what matters.
You don't need a bell cow.
4 games in the playoffs. That's what you need. Honestly, I hate to say it, but it's like we've already seen the death of the fullback in the NFL. fear that we're seeing the running back slowly die off.
I mean, the Saints are playing Alvin Kamara at wide receiver these days.
Exactly. It's like it's not really. Well, I'll say this: like it's not really so much the running back anymore. It's more so now like not the in between the tackles type guy. It's more so like be able to catch
The guys who can catch the ball. That's why McCaffrey was so sought after.
exactly. Like you're not really putting that guy in between the tackles anymore.
Like if the Titans came out and said they were trading Derrick Henry, they wouldn't get more than probably a 4th round pick max. They'd probably
Exactly.
get a 5th or a 6th for Derrick Henry.
Exactly. And all that it means is just the game is evolving. And sooner or
Mhm.
later, the game will itself will evolve back. It'll evolve
The
back.
game started evolving the second the Seahawks decided to throw the ball at the 1-yard line.
Crazy as it is, yes, that's very true. That's
I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the fact. Seahawks would have won the game and were running the ball. They decided to throw the ball.
That's
He's in
fact.
a throwing league since pretty much. That was back when Adrian Peterson used to run the league.
Yeah.
Now, it's like, sheesh. Like, Todd Gurley had a moment here and there, but then his knees gave out. Then you had the Alvin Kamara, I don't think Joe Mixon was in that draft, was he? Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey draft, right?
Yeah.
That was the insane 2017 class. Now that class is getting old. They're all 20. Well, there's not really old in like human years, but in football terms, they're like over 27 running back terms. They're getting on the downside. So now
Yeah.
you're like, well, you can find these guys in the draft, and they're so much cheaper than paying a guy. And
Yep.
it's like, well, you have all these guys. It's basically supply and demand. They can find a replacement for you easy. Unless you can catch the ball really well and shoot the hell out of people.
Right. Yeah. That's true. It's very
But see,
true.
now if you could pass block and catch a football, you have a higher chance of sticking with the team longer than if you just run no thoughts into a hole and get beat up.
This
Which is why McCaffrey was saying.
This is why I don't think that, we're gonna ever see someone get remotely close for a while. I don't think we're ever gonna see anybody touch Emmitt Smith or even Walter Payton's records as far as rushing yards. I just don't see it. Adrian Peterson was the last hope, in my opinion. I don't see anybody in this new crop of running backs touching it. I just don't.
I don't need.
I thought Derrick Henry could have been the guy, but I don't see it happening with him either, just because he doesn't have the offensive line that Emmitt Smith had, and he's not elusive like Walter Payton was. So I just don't see it. Only Bijan Robinson camp highlight I've seen is him catching the ball. Yeah, exactly. And on one of those plays, he didn't sell the route, and he got the pass broken up, which was an excellent read by the linebacker that was covering him. But we can't hear you. You went mute for some reason. All right, you're unmuted. Start talking. Why are you muted again? You muted yourself again. Unmute yourself. Here you go. All right, well, he'll be back. But while we wait for him, we're going to go ahead and transition on over to college football, more NCAA football. So with that being said, as we slowly approach the season, we are getting closer to week 0, which is fun. And here's where I pose this one. Most anticipated game for week 0, as you know, we got MEAC Sweat Challenge, South Carolina State, Jackson State. You have, I believe, there we go. There we go. He's back.
Now, are they trying to silence me?
They tried to silence you, but you I know it's crazy. We tried to silence that man, but they
I
couldn't
know.
keep.
It was like I'm trying to talk about the running backs. You can't go like.
But I mean, do you want us to go back, or are we going to talk about the most anticipated games for Week 0?
I'm gonna talk about the next thing in hot topics. Not really NFL. It's like NFL related, but it's not like current. So we'll talk about it in hot topics.
But yeah, as I was saying though, most anticipated game for Week 0. You got Navy, Notre Dame, you got Jackson State, South Carolina State, which is very highly anticipated. You have Hawaii and Vandy. Once again, can Vandy hold it down for the SEC Week 0? And then, of course, what else do we have on here?
You said, well, for Week 0.
Yeah. There really isn't any other like classic games aside from Notre Dame and Navy, and then which I believe is taking place in Ireland, and then Jackson State and South Carolina State.
No, it's really just Notre Dame, Navy, really.
Yeah, honestly,
Idaho State versus San Diego. Yeah, I want to talk about this in a minute, Ashton. We're getting to that. Once we talk about Week 0, we'll get into that.
I mean, that was basically it, aside from Hawaii and Vanderbilt. So we could talk about it now, honestly.
Yeah, we could do. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
All
so
right, cool.
Bring his thing back up.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I think this conference realignment coming. It had to come soon because like if FSU leaves the ACC, like with Clemson, the ACC is finished.
It is because those are your two most recent national champions gone, and honestly, it makes sense.
Where would they go? Big Ten?
SEC.
If they go to the SEC, it's just not fair. At this point, just make it all SEC at that point.
Honestly, that's the only logical place that they would go. I know early on, back in the heyday, Bobby Bowden didn't want to go to the SEC because he knew the schedule was grueling, and he knew how much of a challenge it would pose week to week for them to do that. But now I feel like it makes the most sense. ACC, the new big. Honestly, if Florida State and Clemson,
Pac-12.
Nah, if Florida State and Clemson leave, yes. If Florida State and Clemson leave, yes. FSU and the SEC would be a major upgrade. I don't know. Miami, I feel like would stay in the ACC.
No, Miami would stay, but I'm like, if FSU and Clemson went to the SEC, the second that college football playoff goes to 12 teams next year, whenever FSU and Clemson come in, it will just be basically 10 teams from the SEC and 2 regular teams.
Accurate.
Well, 10 is probably an exaggeration, but you get the point.
Oh, no, I do. Because, I mean, honestly, well, I'm not going to go into that and name teams. But, yeah, honestly, it makes sense. It's
the SEC tournament.
Yeah, pretty much. Because, I mean, look, it's been an all SEC affair, basically. In the year the SEC didn't have the most teams in it, they still won it. But to Ash's point, I do think Miami would stay behind. I think if you are the ACC at that point, in order to just find a way to keep relevancy, you may have to call, dare I say, a USF and upgrade them. They got the facility.
Yeah, that is what I was going to talk about. They're saying what the hell?
What happened?
Great. I've got a virus on this computer. Oh, this computer's going to have to get a reload. I got a pop-up saying you have an infected file. Great. Anyways, let's wrap this up quick. Yeah, so if FSU even stays, they're still talking about USF getting promoted to either the Pac-12 or the ACC.
Why would they go to the Pac-12? That makes no sense.
The travel doesn't even seem logical.
See, that to me, I maybe it's just me being a traditionalist, and I know a lot of you guys are too that are watching, but I feel like geography and the regions matter to where you go. Like Texas, Oklahoma, okay, that's okay. Southeastern Conference, that's okay. SEC West, that's fine. That makes sense. But the whole thing with like USC, UCLA going to the Big Ten and stuff, Like to me, that ain't make sense. That didn't. I don't get that. But I could definitely see Florida State, Clemson going, USF coming up to the ACC, and basically forming this newfound end of the season rivalry with Miami, maybe or something like that. But yeah, honestly. The other thing too. Oh, wait. Hold up. Wait, bring that back. Bring that one back. I actually like ACC football. Saturday at 12 midday and ACC game isn't the worst thing to watch. It's really not, honestly. Depending on who's playing and who are the two quarterbacks that match up, it's really not. Because I love me a decent little noon ACC kickoff to kind of get the day started, honestly. It's not bad. It's kind of like a good little precursor before, an SEC 3:30 game, which honestly I hate is not on CBS anymore, or the build up before FAMU game to kind of like ease me into my day. But yeah, I mean it's not a bad conference. I don't know why people hate it. I wish that the ACC championship game was still in Tampa. I guess geographic doesn't matter in PWI Power 5, but it matters in It does, because already we not finna
You
travel.
could fly.
In HBC world, we're not finna travel that far. We are not traveling that far. And plus, most of the HBCUs are on this side of the Mississippi too. So
Yeah,
like
they're all in this like if you look at the U.S. map as a whole, most of them are like right here.
exactly.
Well, this side of the map, technically, but for you guys.
So it's like it geographically it made sense when FAMU was in the MEAC. Geographically, it makes sense now with the SWAC.
With the SWAC.
And geographically, it makes sense with the SIAC. It makes sense with the CIAA. I'm with you. An East Coast team in the Pac-12 is nasty. It is, because think about the travel. It's brutal.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about, for instance.
Well, that's the same kind of thing with USC and UCLA in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I think it's dumb.
But it's an advantage for them. No, they lose 4 hours of sleep.
Exactly. You're coming across country back east, losing sleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's
come back west.
And then you got to go back out west to practice.
And then come all the way back over for your next game.
Exactly. Heaven forbid this happens, but say they get Purdue like week 10 and then
in Ohio State week 11.
Yeah, like you got to go basically to Purdue, Indiana, go to Indiana, come back to California because you got to go to class and you got to go to school unless you're taking online stuff, which most of the teams not doing that, I'm sure. And then you got to go back to Columbus. And then you got to go back to California to play a game against UCLA at the end of the season.
And you still got to go to Penn State probably. Still got to go, I think, Maryland.
You can win, but it's still brutal.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Like, why would you? Why?
The logistics aren't reasonable.
It's literally like, it's like one of those things where, like when you're carrying all your groceries into your house, why am I making multiple trips when I can just put all these groceries on my wrist and on my arms and just go back in the house in just one swing? It's one of those types of things.
Yeah, it's like we all go to the grocery, but when we pick up the groceries from the vehicle, we try to fit like 10 bags each arm.
Yeah.
We're going.
The goal.
I want to go inside, then come back outside to go back inside.
Travel wise, the goal is to work smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, we have lost sight of that. Because we're chasing the money, which is not it's not wrong. We're chasing money. We want to make money, but I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, like you got Colorado and Arizona going to the Big 12.
That makes sense.
Because all those teams are right there.
Exactly. And honestly,
Like
Colorado,
Colorado.
they should never left.
No, they shouldn't have. But it's like you look at Colorado, they're right. Well, Oklahoma's leaving, but you still got Oklahoma State, still got Kansas,
Yeah,
all right in that area. Still
exactly.
got Iowa, not far. Not Iowa, Iowa State.
Exactly. It makes sense.
They're all right around there. Kansas State, TCU, Baylor.
Speaking of also to the Big 12, this happened. Texas is gearing up for their final season. Oh, it didn't pop up. Hold up. Texas is gearing up for their final season, and basically saying Steve Sarkisian said Texas is on a mission in their last season in the Big 12 to bring home a title. So, how much
Yeah.
do we
If Texas
believe in
won,
Texas?
if Texas won the Big 12 title, Quinn Ewers might be going ahead of Drake May. Maybe. Because if they win the Big 12, they're probably like a one-loss team. Probably going to the playoff.
Yeah.
I seriously doubt anybody in the ACC is good enough to make the playoff.
Hold on.
Well, Florida State have a shot. Clemson definitely don't.
Florida
And
State.
I don't know about UNC's weapons to keep up.
Florida State apparently, from what is being said, returns.
Florida State got a chance. Don't get me wrong.
They
They
have the
win week 1.
line apparently in the ACC.
Hmm?
Florida State apparently has the best defensive line in the ACC right now. So
Yeah, that's gonna match up good.
those California teams may be thinking they get money from the Big Ten, but I think going back and forth gonna have one.
They make them in a negative.
Yeah, no, it is, and you're going to have a coach come out and say, the travel is affecting our play because we're losing 4 hours of sleep coming across the country.
That's gonna affect class and in the field.
Exactly. Because like I said, like Ace just said about class, not all these dudes are taking online classes. Half of these dudes are taking in-person classes because you got to show up. Because classes fill up like wildfire. Drake May has entered the chat.
Nah, Drake May's probably still going because I don't think Texas going one loss. But like, if Texas won one loss and made the final, it's probably because Ewers went crazy. Most likely. So that's the only reason I see Texas being around.
I mean,
anywhere close to winning the Big 12.
They beat Oklahoma last year. The thing is they gotta do it.
Dylan Gabriel shatter his like whole right side with a concussion. Before that,
I don't think so. Can't remember.
No, Dylan Gabriel got like stretched it off a game. I don't remember which one it was.
Oh,
but I know I don't think he played in that Red River showdown.
Yeah, no, I can't remember either, honestly. But I will say, I'm curious.
Yeah, Texas blew him out 49-0.
I remember that. Now the thing is can they do it again? Can you?
I saw this.
Speaking of Texas, y'all see Archie Manning car sold for yeah, I did.
Bro ain't even play a snap in college football.
Can you imagine? This boy better work out. This man better work out because
his expectations got to be crazy.
It is because he's a Manning. He's a Manning.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is if there's one thing about Mannings, no Manning ever. I don't even think Archie ever won the SEC. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Archie ever.
Dylan Gabriel didn't play that game last time for the Red River Showdown. It was 42-0. Davis Bevel started the game 6 for 12, 38 yards. Marvin Mims had one catch, -2 yards.
Are you serious?
Meanwhile, Quinn Ewers went 21 of 31, 289, 4 TDs, 1 pick. Bijan Robinson, 22 carries, 130 yards, and 2 TDs.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so Archie, wow, okay. 1960, 1962, 1963. I need to go back and see when did Archie Manning play at Ole Miss, because then that kills what I was about to say.
Hmm.
No, okay. Wait, yep. He never. Yeah, Archie never won an SEC title. Archie never won an SEC title. I don't think. Yeah, Peyton never won an SEC title, and neither did Eli. So, I mean,
Archie's gonna have
he has a chance to do something that none of his grandfather, his uncle,
his relatives,
nor his
ancestors.
ever did. He has a chance to go out, win a Heisman, win the SEC, or just really win a conference title and play for a national championship. He has a chance. Will he do it? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But if he doesn't, I would feel like a bum for paying $1 million
$1
for
million.
for a card. Mm-mm.
Wouldn't be me. I don't have $1 million to spend on a card. No
Wouldn't be
thanks.
either. Now I would sell a card for $1 million because you best believe if I had a mint condition Tom Brady card and someone offered me $1 million for it,
Money.
bet your ass I'm gonna definitely take $1 million for that. This run will be
Yeah.
crazy, boy. Don't
I'd
even
sell $1 million, but I ain't spending $1 million on a card. No thanks.
fully
Now take out a D in the cards. Now I spend it on a car, but not a card. Just saying. But yes, what else we have? Oh yeah, so somebody was mentioning this Salty Buccaneer. Remember him? Our good friend Salty. He was saying how that
your friend.
the Baltimore Ravens. I'm gonna just take it over to Hot Topics.
That must be your friend.
No, he's a Bucks fan.
Keep going.
Dude's name is literally called Salty Buccaneer, bro.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So he was throwing out a thing where it says do the Ravens have to have some kind of duty to pay homage to Jim Brown, right? Because as you know, he was on the Cleveland Browns that became the Baltimore Ravens and not the actual current, Cleveland Browns.
Of
So he was
course.
saying should Jim Brown get some homage tribute from the Baltimore Ravens since, that was the franchise he did it with technically.
I think
Where all he got really was just like a condolence letter from the GM of the Ravens when he died.
I think, they should because honestly, the thing is, look, if they had the willingness to honor Johnny Unitas when he passed away, they should honor um, Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
Yeah, that's what I do think that. Speaking of cards, though, I had an Astros Craig Biggio card. I sold for $5. I got finessed. Damn. Oh, see,
Rare L drunk, Rare L.
I'd be upset. I would be upset. I'd be hot.
I mean, like, when you buy a pack of cards, you're basically gambling.
Real. You know what? That makes sense.
Because, you're spending, like, let's say $2, $3 for a card pack. And you're hoping you get something of value in one of those packs to sell back to make money.
That's true. And it is like playing a scratch off if you think about it too, because it's like you don't know whose name you're going to get or whose card you're going to get.
Exactly.
That actually does make sense.
But unlike a scratch off where you just throw out what you don't have, even if you don't win any, like have any cards of value, you still have a fancy little card that has no value, but it still looks cute, cool.
Can you imagine? Like, think about like you buy a pack of cards, and like before he really blew up, like you get like a Brock Purdy card in there. Imagine that.
Somebody ought to give you probably like solid $200 for it now.
Imagine how many Brock Purdy cards just got gave away like before like the season really started.
How many Brock Purdy cards got thrown out? I'm sure they
Yeah.
got thrown out.
And now like people are probably just kicking themselves.
Mm. I'm sure Brock Purdy wasn't even good enough to get a card. He was Mr. Irrelevant.
Hold on now. I could see him getting a card.
Unless he got the Mr. Irrelevant card, which is probably what happened. But
I bet you right now I could go on eBay and find a Brock Purdy card. I bet
I
you
ain't
right
taking that bet. Jeez.
because I'm gonna find one.
Yeah.
Oh man, yep, it's right there in the search history. Right
How
now,
much is it?
they actually have a Lucky Charms Brock Purdy card. It's going for $21 plus $4.90 for shipping. They also
So
have
$25 for a Brock Purdy card. Want to buy one and hope he actually is good this year? I'm just kidding.
they have a Brock Purdy rookie card right now going for $39.99, hoping that with 22 have been sold already, plus $5.05 for shipping.
I think we talked about this last week.
Who do you feel should be able to wear the Oilers throwbacks, Texans or Titans? Ooh, this is, I don't know why, this is such a hot topic for Ace. You want me to
I
go
don't
for
know the answer myself, drunk, because I feel like I want to say it should be Houston wearing it, but then I think the Lakers are the worst case of this whole issue that's going on between the Houston and Tennessee right now. Because you're like, you got Minnesota, right? That used to be the Lakers. And then the Lakers left and they went to LA. And they had all their success or whatever. But the team name Lakers got kept from Minnesota, and there's not a single lake in LA.
Now, this is the part where I say this. The Houston Oilers moved to Nashville. So they technically do hold the rights to the name Oilers. Hence why the Titans are always wearing that uniform. Now, because basically saying like when the when the Texans came in, they just had to go by the name Texans. So it does create a little bit of a rift there. It would make sense if the Texans did wear the Oilers uniforms, but I see why they don't because of the fact that
the names are the name's owned by the franchise.
Yeah.
It's why you don't see like, well, the name's still in use now, but like you don't see the Baltimore Ravens wearing Cleveland Brown stuff.
You don't even see the Ravens wearing Colts stuff. Well, they can't. The Baltimore Colts.
I mean, yeah, the Colts, not the Browns. Colts is a better example.
Yeah, because it is actually dirty how they did Baltimore.
That's the Ursays. Back to how the Ursays are just a bunch of bags, and you're right. They took the whole franchise up and left in the night.
Sunflower trucks. My Houston homie said that this is a big discussion in Houston right now. I'm sure. I believe it because those Oilers
are team
back, and the Titans are going to be the ones wearing them. It makes a lot of sense.
I don't think there's been a situation like this before.
There hasn't, honestly, because it's like
I'm going through like every team, a sports team in my head, and I'm trying to think because like the Pelicans should be the ones who have the right. I wasn't even to talk. See, Drunk's thinking what I'm thinking, but on a different side of it.
The Pelicans,
because like the New Orleans Jazz became the Utah Jazz, but that name Jazz probably should have stuck in New Orleans. Then Charlotte.
Oh, this is confusing.
It was Charlotte, and then Charlotte took the Bobcats, and New Orleans got the Hornet. It was Hornets once Charlotte changed to the Bobcats. Well, they were the Bobcats. It was a whole mess.
Hold on, wait a minute. I gotta think about this. Okay, so Charlotte Bobcats move.
I'll get into that in a minute. Back to this. Okay, so the Pelicans won from Charlotte.
Wait.
To I think New Orleans.
So they went from Charlotte to New Orleans. They changed the name to the Pelicans. So then
the team expanded. So New Orleans had a team. They became the Jazz. Then the Hornets or the Bobcats went to the New Orleans. Yeah, what do you think, Jazz? You didn't realize there's no Jazz in Utah, man.
I was gonna say, this is the guy to know about New Orleans, so it makes sense.
Yeah, someone's like,
Right person.
I'm pretty sure. I think Charlotte went to New Orleans after the New Orleans team went to Utah, and then you're like, well, they went to the Hornets, and then the Hornets became the Pelicans, and the league. Well, it was still the New Orleans Hornets, but then the Charlotte team expanded. They became the Bobcats. Bobcats was still there, and then the Hornets, once they sold the team because well, we all know why. They sold the team. New owner, we took the team, sold it to the Bensons. Bensons changed the name to the Pelicans. Then the Hornets name became free. And the Bobcats took the name Hornets. It's a whole mess.
Dude,
And there's the Jazz still sitting all the way over in Utah with no Jazz in Utah.
look, I can't even process that. Look, if y'all want to,
It's going to happen. Okay, think of it this way. When the league expands again, right? It's going to be the Seattle, but it's going to be called the Supersonics, even though the name Supersonics should have been held with the Thunder. Because Supersonics moved to Oklahoma City and became the Thunder. But they didn't keep the naming rights like how Tennessee did when they went from Houston to Tennessee. They kept the naming rights to the Oilers. But when the Supersonics left to the Thunder, they lost the naming rights to the Supersonics. That's why the name Supersonics is available for licensing when they expand again.
I'm gonna say one thing before I go to Ashton's point. Bring back the Flint Tropics. Let's get tropical. I feel like Drunk knows what I'm talking about because he's probably seen that movie. Let's get tropical. Okay, what's y'all's thoughts on the Orange Blossom Classic drama? Did FAMU make the right decision? I mentioned this a little bit earlier. I watched Off Script show too, and he brought up a lot of good points. I felt like, honestly, what he said, bring in a team like a Tennessee State or an A&T, and then make Jackson State a home game. Keep the Orange Blossom Classic, but play Jackson State as a conference opponent, not in the Classic, and just keep going from there. Because in that way, it's like, and then the caller that called in that said people don't want to go to Miami. I can say that that's a lie because Miami is one of the top tourist destinations in this country. I'm sure I can. You know what? Let's actually fact check that. You're even better. Top travel destination. Actually, no. Let's be honest. Top travel destinations in the U.S. So, but yeah, no. Honestly, I figure because honestly, there was one caller that said, the people don't want to go to Miami, which I'm like, I don't know about that. People definitely do want to go to Miami for a getaway Labor Day weekend. You definitely want to get away. Okay, it's not giving me cities. It's just giving me states, and Florida was in the top. Okay, so we'll just go back to top travel destinations in Florida. I shouldn't be looking at Expedia for this, but yet here I am. Oh wow, look at that. Top destinations. Let's go ahead and share that. I'm having fun.
Oh, he's gonna use his share feature again.
I am. I definitely am. So let me know, Ace, give me the green light of when y'all can see this.
It's loading. Now it's good.
Okay, so yeah, for someone to say that people don't want to go to Miami to go see a football game or just for Labor Day weekend, that's a lie because the top destination in Florida, Miami, Key West, Orlando. After that, Fort Lauderdale.
$625 a night.
Yeah, South Beach. Oh, dude, South Beach is expensive. Very expensive. Even go even further down, 9,000.
Imagine
Hotel.
spending $10,000 a night. Yeah, couldn't be me. I don't have that much in my bank account.
Oh, me neither. Me neither. It's insane. But yes, uh, I feel like the Orange Blossom Classic should stay. Drunk, you're absolutely correct. New York, Miami, LA, definitely the big three. Absolutely. I feel like the Orange Blossom Classic should stay. I feel like if you stop playing Jackson State in the game, you need to go get someone like I said, A&T or Tennessee State, play the game, make the money off of the game still. Thing is, the other team has to agree to the Orange Blossom Classic contract. Yeah, that is true. That is true. So who
I
would
was
agree?
saying it earlier. There is a lot of benefits for a team to sign on to a contract, even if it's like a one-game rotation where they have like different teams come in. Because think of it, you're coming into Miami, so you're gonna have draws. You're gonna keep fan interest as a team from like let's say Tennessee. They're gonna fly down to Miami, come watch a game, so they're gonna
Mhm.
be more interested because it's not like the standard two teams that go every single time. It's a different team going every time, and you're like, wait, we can come into this. We can go South Beach and go catch a football game at the same time.
Yeah,
You can get your money off of that. That's more publicity for your program because it's gonna be covered on ESPN most likely, like it was last year and every year before that. So you're gonna get extra publicity that way, and it's a good experience for your players and program in general.
yeah. And that's why I'm just like I can understand why some teams would turn it down, but I mean honestly, like it's like once again, like what off script said, 450. The band is paid for. You got the hotels paid for, and like, dude, it's not bad. It's really not bad. But I do think that unfortunately, now that FAMU's pulling out of it, and I don't expect Jackson State to play in it next year, that this game is still going to probably go on because the lady that's running this, she's going to try to find two new teams.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's going to go on still. I just wish it was going on with FAMU because this game is associated with FAMU. And this is where I would say I would hope and I would love to see Tennessee State. Just on my own personal fandom, seeing FAMU and Tennessee State on the field together, I enjoy that. Or even bringing back FAMU and A&T, but I kind of figured by now A&T isn't going to agree to that. But it is what it is. It's fine. Hopefully, sometime in the future, FAMU can find somebody. I know the schedule is not favorable going forward. I know FAMU plays the MEAC Challenge next year against Norfolk State. They have to play. They do get South Carolina State coming to Bragg, and they do also play Troy at Troy next year, I believe, as well too. So, yeah,
Any other hot topics? I don't think so. Fantasy football right around the corner.
bring back the Flint Tropics, man, and let's get
Name
tropical.
your fantasy football team that then.
Don't tempt me. I might do that in one of my leagues. Do not tempt me, and I will
Uh-huh,
definitely
sure.
sing a little "Love Me Sexy" by Jackie Moon.
I know what to do with this old man. Alright. That being said, ladies, gents, people everywhere.
Keep playing with me.
Um,
I'm gonna clip that and bring that in here next week.
sure.
See, he don't
So I
believe
gotta
me.
figure out what we're doing with Flash.
He don't believe me.
Drunk don't gotta say nothing about no Zion Williamson. We need to talk about that. We forgot about that Zion Williamson Flash comment. I pulled up the exit page and I don't know why I thought about it.
That was messed up. I actually showed him that too.
He was laughing at that. He said he wish he could dance.
Blazers and Heat still playing footsies.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, so Blazers, Dame, they had a statement come out saying like they can't say they only want to go to a specific team. Otherwise they get fined, punished, whatever. what they're still saying is like the Heat are the only team interested. They wanted to use like one of Nikola Jovic and Jamie Jacquez, Hicks and Hero for the deal, and the Blazers don't want it. It's like, give me a better offer. No, I don't want to give you a better offer. Give me a better offer. No, I don't want to give you a better offer. And it's like they can't find nobody else to help broker the deal because nobody wants to help the Heat because the Heat were just in the finals. So that's going to be stuck there for a while, probably. Boring. But on another note, rookies can now be traded in the NBA. So wouldn't shock me if you see a guy like Pascal Siakam get traded soon.
Interesting. But folks, that's going to do it for us this evening. We hope that you've enjoyed this content as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. This was a very lively show this evening. Lots of good stuff to talk about. A lot of fun stuff.
Shout out Drunk, Ashton, and as always, Will David.
So yeah,
The happy trio.
We're definitely going to keep an eye on a couple things and everything such as that in these Twitter streets. Don't forget to Pro Football Hall of Fame game tomorrow night. So tune into that. That's going to be fun. We'll be back next week to discuss that and all of the preseason fun. But yeah,
Who knows? Maybe we'll have a show in September. School starting back up soon. He's been in school. So drunk. Don't drink too much because then you'll think Dorian Thompson Robinson's name is Dorian Finney Thompson. So keep your head on a swivel there. Don't get no one messing you up like that. But that being said, as always, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. Maybe a new show coming out for the Tuesdays. Who knows? I don't think Lasky's coming back. Might have a new name. Depends. Flash got to start dragging his feet and drinking and eating food like Zion does, but we'll figure it out.
I need to stop. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. All right.
With that being said, as always, stay safe. See y'all next week.
See you next week.